Learning to let go, finding hope in life's struggles. In a quiet little town, nestled between rolling hills, there lived a man named Ethan. Not been kind to him. Once a promising young architect, his dreams had been shattered by a series of failures. His business crumbled under the weight of debt, and his relationships strained as he struggled to hold on to what was slipping through his fingers. He felt like a failure in every way, and with each passing day, the weight of his despair seemed heavier. He wandered through his life like a ghost, aimlessly going through the motions, unable to find the courage to move forward. The man who once held the world in his hands was now overwhelmed by it. One late evening, after another disappointing day, Ethan took a long walk through the woods that bordered his town. He needed to think, to find some way to keep going. The sun had just set, casting a soft golden hue across the sky. As he walked deeper into the forest, the stillness around him seemed to mirror the emptiness inside his heart. Every step felt like a reminder of how far he had fallen. Then, out of nowhere, a voice interrupted his thoughts. "Why do you walk with such burden, my friend?" Tree, his face wrinkled with age, but his eyes bright and full of life. The old man smiled kindly, his presence somehow calming. Ethan, unsure of what to say, sighed heavily. "I've lost everything, my business, my dreams, my faith. I don't know how much longer I can keep going. Every time I try to rebuild, something knocks me down again." The old man nodded slowly, as if he understood all too well. "You are holding on to something that is causing you pain. Sometimes, in life, we try so hard to hold on to what is slipping away that we forget it's okay to let go." Ethan frowned. "Let go? But if I let go, what will I have left? What's the point of fighting if everything keeps falling apart?" The old man's smile deepened. "The point is not to fight against life, but to flow with it. Sometimes, when we hold too tightly to things, whether they're people, dreams, or even our own expectations, we trap ourselves in a cycle of suffering. Life, like the river, moves forward. If you hold on too tightly to the banks, you'll never experience the freedom of the journey." Ethan sat down beside him, intrigued. "But what happens if I let go and everything falls apart even more?" The old man chuckled softly. "In the process of letting go, you may find that what you thought was falling apart was actually making space for something new, something better. It's in the release, the surrender, that we find our true strength. Life will never be without challenges, but when we trust the flow, we discover that we have the resilience to rise again, no matter how many times we fall." Ethan stared at the old man, his words sinking into his heart. For the first time in months, he felt a flicker of something he hadn't felt in a long time. Hope. The idea of letting go, of surrendering his fears and burdens, seemed almost impossible. But deep down, he knew the truth in the old man's words. The next morning, Ethan woke up with a sense of clarity. He knew he couldn't change the past, but he could choose how to move forward. He decided to let go of the weight of his failures, the regret, and the fear of what might happen. It was time to release his grip on the things that had been holding him back. It wasn't easy. There were days when doubt crept in, and the old habits of worrying and trying to control everything returned. But Ethan kept reminding himself of the old man's wisdom. Sometimes letting go is the key to finding your way forward. Months passed, and though Ethan's life didn't magically transform overnight, something remarkable began to happen. Opportunities he hadn't noticed before started to present themselves. His passion for architecture, which he had thought was gone forever, was reignited as he took on small projects that reignited his creativity. His relationships healed, and he began to rediscover the joy of living without the constant pressure of perfection. Ethan realized that life was never about avoiding challenges. It was about learning how to navigate them. By letting go of the need to control every outcome, he had unlocked a deeper sense of peace and freedom. One afternoon, as he walked through the woods once more, he found himself smiling. Old man wasn't there, but his words echoed in Ethan's heart. When you let go, you open yourself to something greater than you can imagine. Ethan had finally learned the most important lesson of all. When all hope seems lost, it is often the moment when letting go becomes the most powerful act of all. And so, Ethan's story continues, not as a man who conquered life's struggles, but as one who learned to flow with them. Because sometimes, the greatest victories come not from fighting the current, but from surrendering to it.